Action.
Hi, my name is Jay and I have a YouTube channel. I'm a biologist with a lot of things I'd like to tell you, but there's really only one concept that I'd like to get you to understand today. And that concept is sterilizing immunity. You're familiar with a term called vaccination, and vaccination traditionally refers to sterilizing immunity. When you are exposed to a pathogen like measles in the form of the actual infection or in the form of an attenuated virus, your body develops what is called sterilizing immunity. Sterilizing immunity means that when you encounter the virus in the future, it's no longer able to replicate and it's no longer able to make you contagious for that virus. This is important from the perspective of what we are experiencing now, because we are not achieving sterilizing immunity to SARS-CoV-2 with the current emergency use authorized immunizations that are currently available. Now, this is no problem in theory, because we need to protect the vulnerable people in our society from this virus. And this suite of immunizations is a great way to do it. Unfortunately, though, because these immunizations are non-sterilizing, there is a danger to applying them to all healthy adults, and even a greater danger to applying them to all healthy children. And the basic gist of it comes down to a story, which I think is easier than trying to explain the subtle details of this immunological concept. So let's take a ride and let's tell this story. Okay, I think that's the take if it still says red.
Yep.
Great. Okay, ready to ride?
Yeah. Ready to ride.
Oh, there's a little cars. Cool.
So, two nurses, Vicky and Carol. Vicky and Carol work in the same ER, but Vicky and Carol are not both the same, because only Vicky's been vaccinated. Carol was not there the day it happened, and she was a little bit hesitant. So, at work, they get exposed to a pretty nasty version of the coronavirus through a patient that they both treat. Interestingly, Carol, being non-vaccinated, after a day of being at home, it comes down with terrible symptoms and takes the next 2 weeks off. Vicky, on the other hand, has been vaccinated and feels no symptoms. And as a result, she works for 2 weeks straight, even picking up a couple Carol's shifts.
So sorry.
The complication is that Carol hasn't been vaccinated, but Vicky has. Well, they go home for the weekend, and over the weekend, Carol develops terrible symptoms. Vicky does not. Carol calls in sick, and Vicky picks up her shift. And for 2 weeks, Carol is at home sick with symptoms and recovers. Vicky, on the other hand, works for 2 weeks, but because she was vaccinated, she was still contagious. She was carrying the virus asymptomatically, and she was carrying the virus that kept Carol at home for 2 weeks. And so the vaccinated Vicky actually spread the variant, and now we have a problem, because she's infected hundreds of people at work while Carol was at home with symptoms. Now, what you need to understand is that the only way Vicky is going to show symptoms is if there's a version of the virus that Vicky catches that can escape the vaccine. And if that happens, then what you're doing essentially is selecting for variants which will escape other people's vaccines. So, of course, that story is quite simple, and it doesn't really have the depth necessary to encompass all of the variables at play. But it's simple enough to get you in the door, to help you understand why asymptomatic transmission amongst healthy, immunized people poses a danger as we move forward into 2022. primary intention of this brief is just to open a dialogue, just to make sure that we're having an open discussion about this possibility and that we don't miss this opportunity now to pause, to deliberate, and to perhaps revise policy going forward. This is coming to you from two parents, two very concerned parents, and that's it. Please help us think about this, help us start a dialogue by sharing the article link below. My name is JC on a Bike. You can find more information on my channel, and there will be more videos like this one to help break down the article that we've just released. Thank you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. That wasn't really what we wanted.